Hey everybody, I'm just in the process right now of making my own potting soil. Now, whether this is more economical, I have no idea. I just wanted to be able to control what was in my potting soil, and it's kind of an experiment to see if I can play with the pH and go from there. Let's see what we have going on today here. And we got peat moss, all right? We have a triple blend of, I believe it's manure, peat moss, and compost. And we have sheep manure with compost and aged tree bark, perlite, vermiculite. So we want to help with aeration. All right. Now, vermiculite will also add to aeration and retain water, okay, and nutrients. We have a compost from my neighbor Bob. Thank you, Bob. Sand and wood ash. All right. So let's get at her. All right, so we'll use one full bag, which is 20 liters of this triple blend. So it's peat moss, composted manure, and humus. I forgot the humus part, so we'll add one bag. Now this makes pretty much a full wheelbarrow, okay? And now I'll add the sheep manure with aged bark, okay? I'm only going to add half a bag of this. Because generally speaking, manure is high in nitrogen. And yeah, I want nitrogen, but this is going to be mainly for tomatoes. So I don't want to go crazy with the nitrogen. Now, perlite. Okay. With this perlite, I'm going to add 4 liters. This pail is around 4 liters, which is a half a bag. All right. This will help with aeration. Okay. So we'll add that to the mix. And I ran out of vermiculite, but I used 4 liters of it as well. All right. Next, I'll add some garden compost from my neighbor Bob, and that's 4 liters as well. And sand, 4 liters of sand to help with aeration and drainage. Next, we'll add peat moss. All right, this bucket is around 6 liters, and I'm going to add one more, and that'll be a total of 12 liters. Now, this is when I'm starting to think of pH level, all right? So, what's the optimal pH level for tomatoes, all right? It's around 6 to 7, so they like it slightly acidic, all right? Now, peat moss is around 3 to 4. All right. Wood ash, all right, is around 10 to 12. All right. So I'm not really adding wood ash right now to adjust the pH because I don't know. The main reason of why I'm adding the wood ash right now is just for those micronutrients. All right. Just like the sand, right? Because there's rocks in there. Rocks have minerals and nutrients. And I'll just add a little bit for now. And now I'll mix it up. Let's give it a quick mix up. And I'll probably end up making a massive mess in my garage. I started doing this earlier in the day, but then it started to get dark out when I wanted to make the video, and now I'm in the garage. To be honest with you, I kind of like this process. It's pretty relaxing. It's not really time consuming, you know, because you're going to be bringing in your potting soil or whatever you're going to be using anyways. But now you just kind of mix it. Not a big deal. And I love the control, all right, because if your tomatoes don't produce the way you want, it's all your fault, all right? There's no excuses. So now the next step is testing the soil, okay? Because now I want to get a little bit more scientific this year. Because what if this is at a pH of 8, let's say, or 8.5, and your tomatoes want 6.5? Now, what does that do to your tomatoes? And I don't really have the greatest of conditions. I got pretty good sun, all right, but not the best. And I want to make my soil as livable as possible for the tomatoes, because I'll need all the help I can get. So let's test the soil. All right, let's test the soil. I'm just gonna mix it up and put a bunch in this cup here. And I got some reverse osmosis water. It sits around 6.5 to 7, so it's fairly neutral, but let's give it a shot here. And we'll moisten this up. Let's add a little bit more soil. And this little tester I'm using, yeah, you know, it's not going to give you the probably most accurate reading, but I think it's pretty close, surprisingly. So let's just let it sit in here for a minute. It's pretty moist, so you might be getting more of a water reading, but I think you should get an accurate reading of the soil. And it seems like it's 7. Is this coming out on video? So yeah, that needle is right on 7. But I find with this guy, if you let it sit for a few minutes, it does kind of change. It takes a couple of minutes to change. I'm going to add just a tad more soil in there, just to kind of get it really saturated with soil, because it's pretty waterlogged right now. I hope it's not going to be, oh, there's a big old piece of bark there. Don't want that in there. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look now. All right, well, it's still kind of sitting at 7. All right, so it's been sitting for around 10 minutes. Let's have a look here. Now it appears that this needle has dropped just below 7. So it's between 7 and 6.5. Now I don't think I need to really start amending this soil. Who knows though, right? But if I wanted to make it a little bit more acidic, I would add more peat moss. Okay. And if I wanted to make it more alkaline, I would add ash. So that's where I'm at right now.